Perjangers. Enjoy the show.
How have you been, sir?
Yeah. Good. How you guys been?
Good.
We've been doing another ring around the sun, another time to do tales.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you have I see here issues 1 through 5, all on digital, available for $20 for Alpha Dogs. Issues 1 through 5.
Absolutely,
That's a steal to catch up on all the latest issues, because this was the one, if I'm not wrong, this was the comic you were saying that was a lot like Dogs with X-Men powers.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Incredible Journey meets the X-Men. I guess you could say each individual dog has these really awesome powers. I don't want to give too much away. It's fun to reveal them as the dogs perform them. But I will say the main character dog, Buck, he has the ability to heal from any wound. He's smarter than any other ordinary dog. He can understand humans when they talk. Of course, they can't understand him because his growls and stuff. But he has enhanced strength as well. So him and his owner and this other kind of grumpier pit bull who shares in Buck's abilities have been on the run from a group of mercenaries that are after the dogs because of these incredible gifts. So throughout the dogs' whole lives, they've been on the run with their owner and hiding out and still living in secrecy. And then their owner finally just kind of caves to this new guy that she meets, and she does what she's never done before, divulge the dog's secrets, their abilities, and she brings them to their house. So the main character dog Buck, is very leery to the dog Buck. He thinks his owner is, perfect, like any dog. They think we're, wonderful human beings. So he's too trusty, and it ends up costing him because she sides with this new boyfriend and extracts the dog's blood. And what she doesn't know is her new boyfriend is a bioengineer. And once he has the dog's blood, because he's always known of the dog's blood, the dog's abilities, he's able to make this kind of cocktail where he can make his own dogs with incredible gifts. So it's a real fun series. It's very thrilling. It has a lot of themes of abandonment, pets and, kids, really, because much like, kids, this old dog's living in the house and the family brings this puppy in, and what that does to that dog and the sadness and jealousy it feels. And it's kind of like when, a mom brings this new stepdad in and kind of can and sometimes push the kids, out the door. So it's a cautionary tale, but it's also really fun and about the love between an owner and a dog.
Which is timeless in and of itself. I mean,
Yeah.
I credit my dog every single podcast. He barely has to do anything. Maybe bark a couple times at the end. That's his cue.
There you go.
It's a great premise just for a comic alone, because it gives that comic a lot of depth to it too. Adding that,
I believe so.
That owner pet dynamic there. That dynamic duo, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. It's absolutely right. Throughout times as far back as Egyptians, they had dogs, and there's, I'm sure with a female as well, but I think one of a boy's first best friends is a dog, and it's a boy, myself included, never cry ever, but boy, when our dog died, I was
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, too many times.
I'm ruining the day.
The snot, the tears, everything. It was disgusting.
Yeah, I'm ruining the day that happens. Especially as a pet owner, it's in the back of your mind, at least a little bit. It's in the back of your mind, like, oh God, I am hopefully gonna, knock on wood, I'm gonna outlive you. You got to knock.
The only thing we have tried to do is, like 3 years. So when that passes, it won't be as hard. Plus, they have, a lifelong friend.
You broke up a little bit there.
Oh, sorry. I just we kind of get 2 dogs now with some band between each other, because one passes, this one will be there. Plus, we'll have because we'll still have a friend. One of the other You can't hear me. At least it'll be there. But you can hear me?
The internet is
You not hear
fighting you
me?
right now.
Oops.
Oh, okay.
You got caught up in the ice storm.
Oh, okay. Let me try.
There we go.
Yeah, that's possible. We'll see if it comes in any better. Oh, good, good, good. I don't know what the deal was, but hopefully it doesn't get interrupted.
But the other comic that you did have going on is Dime Store Detective. The two comics in and of themselves are very kind of, because you have the supernatural detective, and then you have the puppy powers, if you will. And the supernatural detective is one that I think you do very well. I loved those comics that you sent me. It just latches onto you right from the beginning of the story, and it makes you want to learn more.
Yeah, thank you. And the cool thing is issue 5, there was been a gaps between them, but issue 5 is actually the art is done. And when this one ends, my goal is the first week of April to launch issue 5. So, and then when that is done, it'll be released. I was signed by a publisher for Alpha Dog's graphic novel, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And once thank you. And once Dumpster Detective is going to end up being a graphic novel, and that will be published, and that will be available on Amazon or Target and stuff, just like Alpha Dogs is right now.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? Just gaining with those two, just issue by issue, you're just going to keep amassing that fan base. That's both of these stories are just going to keep, compelling the reader to, dive deeper and deeper into, because I think last time we talked about, the tie into X-Men, because the Chris Claremont X-Men, I think, was one of the ones that the X-Men run line was that really connected with fans, because it had a lot of really good storytelling in there as well as character development.
Yeah, and the crazy part is, whenever they retell Days of Future Past, it's like a 12-issue drama, or 10 issues. And Days of Future Past was only 2 issues. Chris Claremont, he was very succinct when he told the story, and it's amazing when you think of the saga, which is actually only 2 issues of the original Days of Future Past. So yeah, I mean, I think 80s Chris Claremont, I would have to say, probably the best run, in my opinion, of a superhero comic book.
Yeah, right. Absolutely,
that influenced a lot of not only the comics, but as well as the animated series, the movies. Like, people continuously go back to Days of Future Past and all that, of just, this is the classic.
They just steal right from it. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, right.
Yeah, I guess the one good thing is they let Len Wein write some issues of the 90s X-Men and stuff, but I know they did hire some of the writers, but yeah, it's amazing that those stories are just timeless. It's crazy how they seem going back and just rearranging. But the cool thing about the new X-Men story, though, is they're delving into basically when I stopped reading it because I hated it, but it's still in the good stuff. And I think he's done a good job of rewriting and taking all the best parts, because I'm really looking forward to, the antimantium when Magneto sucks it out. I'm really looking forward to that season.
Oh yeah. I mean, the animation stuff that Marvel's doing right now is really impressive. I mean, you have
X-Men 97 is a redo is really nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really, the stuff that, DC is doing, but, it's simple and clean enough. I mean, I just enjoyed it,
But
could have gone a little further, nicer still, but
the Amazing Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that new animated series, that animated Spider-Man series that just hit Disney Plus is fantastic.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched it. I thought it was weird, some of the redos they did. I was like, okay, it's weird.
It's in an alternate universe that it really has it has its own free play there, but it is done well. It is Avengers Avengers side universe, except you have a more comic classic Peter Parker in the mix.
Okay.
And it's really, really well done. I think there's like 5 episodes available right now at time of recording. It is. I was very, very well surprised by that one, and
I
all
guess
of
I was kind of boycotting it because I was told they were doing a Spider-Man 98, a
man.
continuation of that. So I was really looking forward to that, like how they do with the X-Men. So
You know what? That one, the one that just dropped, is really good. I would also accept in a Spider-Man 98 because they confirmed in X-Men that Peter found Mary Jane. So,
Mhm.
you can't just
That's right.
confirm a story and then leave it there to sit. You gotta
Yeah,
explore that.
that was
They're stretching
crazy.
stuff way too much. I mean, I can understand that, they've been around since the early 70s, and it was like even before that.
Hmm.
It's like, oh my God, how many ways can you do Mary Jane? Let's think of
Yeah.
something else. Let it go. They're grown.
Yeah.
Let them do their thing. Blah blah blah. Come back once in a while, but start a whole new Spider-Man thing. I mean, like, come on.
Mhm.
You're just pounding something that into something that you're trying to make new and fresh, and it looks like something that's just pounded the shit out of. It's like, it's like, redo it. I mean, like, you got Miles Morales. Well, what's going on with him? What's the matter? He doesn't have a story. The other side is just, you know, come on. It's like,
Well, the problem is they have so much to fit in with Marvel because now we got all this
that
stuff.
sounds
We
like
got
their headache, that they're doing themselves.
Doomsday. We got Secret Wars, and then we got to have the mutants. We have to have all this big stuff that we're building to World War Hulk. We're getting to it, but they have all these to dos in front of them, and they're just trying to check mark everything they can. To where DC, I'm actually very impressed with DC. Creature Commandos was fantastic, and I'm very hopeful for the Superman because July is really going to be the showdown.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting.
Superman versus Fantastic Four. Have we seen the trailer and do we like it?
Oh, I thought it was really cool. The Superman one was cool. I mean, I don't know it's James Gunn, so I think we're gonna get Guardians of the Galaxy, but of the which yeah, it's good
Yeah,
popcorn movie, but I I do really like this how they're just kind of this new look to a Marvel movie, the Fantastic Four.
it has a very like a modernistic look to it, and it has that Art Deco vibe out of like the night of just that classic Fantastic Four. You have an
Yeah,
awesome looking
1950s, 60s. Yeah,
you have an awesome looking thing, which
yeah.
your CGI money is doing you proud. Okay. Especially with the tasting of the food. I'm like, oh, I got a little bit on the rock. There we go. And it looks like it's going to hit all those moments. But the thing I love is fans are already asking Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, perfect fit. They're asking Vanessa Kirby, like, oh, are we going to see, we going to see you pregnant in that? Because they want to see Franklin Richards. They want to see the kids. They want all this Fantastic Four. Some fans are bitching about how big Galactus is, but hey, he wasn't a swirling cloud of cosmic gas. He's a guy with the
Thank you.
hat. Let's move on, people. We got the figure, okay? They got him at least looking okay. We haven't seen the face, so as long as he doesn't look like Michael Jackson, I think we're doing okay.
Well, I'm surprised people were upset about it. I mean, you kind of have to have him tower over the Statue of Liberty's Galactus.
What did they want? Just a head? Like, that's what's that going to do? No, he has to be at least scalable, and he's a cosmic
Yeah.
being. He can scale his size. But
Yeah,
I love it.
it's not quite in proportion to the Marvel Legend I got of Galactus for that HasLab, but it's still pretty awesome.
It works. It'll work.
I'm
But that's the
interested.
introduction to the Silver Surfer too.
Yeah, because you have Silver Surfer, who is the woman from the Ozarks, and then you also have John Malkovich in this
please stop.
movie.
I'm starting to shake a can of pennies at that, and the guy, stop.
I don't know the female Silver Surfer, but I'm really interested to shift away from her. I'm interested to see how John Malkovich is going to play this. I saw the character that they pulled him from the comics. Bald guy, long white hair. There was a orangutan next to him.
Oh, wow. That's digging back.
I
I know
figured.
what you're talking about. Yeah,
I saw the switch go, and I was like, "Oh, Frank knows."
And the switch is still down.
That circuit hasn't been thrown for years.
No, it's not connecting. Got to jiggle the light switch a little bit. For the lights to come on. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, I know.
But it's one of those things that Marvel does do. They pull from that Wayback Machine. Like, no, let me see what we got back here.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Fantastic.
It's like what they did with Jessica Jones, like Purple Man. There we go. There you go.
He's been around a long time. I barely.
Yeah.
And especially when you're looking at the first family, that's a key. That's a no-brainer that you have. Oh, well, of course we're gonna have the Fantastic Four and a classic villain, a classic villain that we got right. That I get it. You're tired of seeing Galactus again, but we finally did our homework.
Exactly.
But I got hope I do have hope for DC and what James Gunn is doing over there, because he's just got his own key. He's got the keys to the castle, and from when he announced his first phase to what he's actually executing, pretty on point up to now. I mean, I've said multiple times how I don't like how Guy Gardner's wearing this white jacket and everything in the Superman trailer, but we're getting like a Lantern show. They're still doing Waller and the Authority and all these other, cuts that is just from James Gunn. That only he would pick these things. But eventually we'll get like Batman Brave and the Bold. I think it's like closer to when my movie premieres in like 2027. We're going to get Batman Part 2 with Matt Reeves. So, hey, let's go, Matt Reeves. Battle of the Bats in 2027. But there's a lot of hope in each.
The Red Ghost with his 3 apes.
Yes, the Red Ghost. There we go. I knew once I heard it, it would ping there. But yeah, the Red Ghost. But there's a lot of hope in either world when you're looking at it, because they got. I mean, Marvel has a bunch of stuff coming out this year. They're starting off with Spider-Man and Captain America. Then they have the Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and Eyes of Wakanda and like 3 other animated shows going on. So they're filling their schedule through this year, and DC's just still doing one thing at a time. Penguin won awards, and that was a fantastic show with Colin Farrell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the best show I've seen in a long time.
God, you really felt for Vic by the end of that, didn't you? You're like, oh, you schmuck. You giant schmuck. Oh, I can't believe that, Vic. But that's good storytelling. And, it's a hope that they get back to what the indie market has already been doing. Just stuff like that you've been doing is good storytelling. And it brings it back to our guest. And what this show's all about is that you're not just going for that classic cookie cutter kind of show or series anymore. You want something with a little bit more depth and a little bit more ingenuity, but something that's new and not just something serialized that you've seen over and over again. And you're more likely to get that in the indie market.
Absolutely, yeah. And I can guarantee you my comics are different than any comic you're going to find on the shelves. They're very unique. It's I'm not going to waste my time and money with something that's you've seen a million times. I've developed the series for a number of years, so I wanted to make sure what I was putting out there is going to be very unique, because I'm like a lot of people. Just tired of seeing the same stuff kind of regurgitated over and over again.
And you know what? I wrote an original story myself recently, and it's very rewarding when you hear like, oh my God, this is amazing. I had to keep reading. It's one of those things that tells you as a writer that you did your job and you did it well. This is a complete thought. Me and the muse sat down, said, damn, this is good, and it turned out to be great. So it's one of those things to where you got your comic picked up. That's one of the things that all indies are striving for right now, especially with, News with Diamond. And
yeah, I was very fortunate. Source Point Press, I approached them at a comic show and offered them Dime-Store Detective, because I knew that's kind of their bread and butter was the supernatural stuff, the crime stuff. So, and then I waited a year and then gave them the other two issues of Dumpster Detective and hoping that they'd like it enough. And when I'd handed it to them, they asked me if I was interested in getting published. And I was like, yeah, that's what I've set up for the whole year here. And so it was, yeah, it's awesome. I don't really believe in luck. I think it's, preparation meets, hard work.
Yeah.
So, I definitely have been doing this for a long time. So they say only 2% of people actually get publishers. I don't know if that's true. So I was very, very fortunate. And, so I swear it's good. It's a good comic.
Obviously, if it's getting picked up, I mean, but that's the goal. But that's something that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and now it's coming to fruition. So, it's since the first time. I'm not saying we're the cause, but since the last time you've been on Tales of the Hunted, things have blown up for you, and this is
Yeah.
one of the happier times that we get to have a guest come back on, and things get to
Yeah,
go
I
good.
definitely appreciate the shout outs and back in the comics. That's awesome, and I appreciate it. I'm glad you like enough to have me on the show again.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's. I love the premise of your stuff, and anytime, yeah. I love the premise of your comics, and you just have a good work ethic as you're doing something, and boom, you just kept pushing out. I mean, you've already put out so many and have stuff in the hopper so much from last time you were here a year ago. It's exponential, man. We'll have to do another yearly check-in next year to see how many more comics you have
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate having me on, and yeah, thanks to continue to help support us indie guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Kickstarter is going strong, and I see you have a bunch of different levels on here that everybody can just, if you want to hop in now, hop in now. I'm saying the best value is probably that, especially if you're a digital bug with the comics. That $20 for all 5 of Alpha Dogs is probably going to be your best bet right there. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. It's got a cool mystery. It starts out with Buck, the main character dog, seemingly dead on the species, has been shot. And then at the end, but of course, luckily for the dog, I should probably mention this, he can heal from any wound, and he's got a heightened strength. So in case you missed that when I said it earlier, I shouldn't end with the dog shot on the beach.
Yeah, then it's like a dead man kind of. Ooh, we're not going to there. We're not going Walking Dead on this one. Although a Walking Dead dog version. That's
money right there. So at the end of this issue 4, we find out how he ended up there, who shot him. So it's a nice bookend for the series. And now we start out with a new chapter of issue 5 here with Buck in search of his fellow superhero, powered dogs. But he's got mercenaries on his tail. He's got other antagonists, superpowered dogs that are trying to help the owner capture him. And then we've got this mystery with the connection between this evil, engineer and the mercenary. So if you like Lost, if you like Game of Thrones, where you've got this mystery, you've got a lot of action that slowly kind of unfolds in this A and B story, then you'd really enjoy it.
I mean, that just speaks to, one, I just got done doing another watch through of Lost. Equally disappointed at the end. But I found out that was just because of budget. That last episode was supposed to be so much better. Like, it was supposed to have the island falling apart. It was supposed to be Jack and the monster, this big battle between light and dark, but they were like,
"Oh man, don't tell me that, it ruins it now." That's so much better.
Guys, there's a budget, and you're lucky we're letting you finish this at all. All right, like wrap it up. Somebody else needs the set. So we got hosed because of Suits looking at the budget. Damn.
Yeah, that's
goddamn producers.
I've always said that, with the exception of the first season of True Detective, Lost is the best first season of any show I've ever watched.
I forget exactly how Mike Florio put it, my co-host for Silly Little Podcast. He said, "Oh, you mean the show that has some of the best character development that with the worst ending ever?" Yeah, I've seen that show.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
it's such good character development and everything, and you're like, flub the landing, huh? Just like right on
Yeah.
the concrete.
I know. It's a shame,
It
but
is fun to go through and rewatch, though. Up until
yes,
that
it
last,
is.
it's a better rewatch than Game of Thrones because you have like,
Oh, I can't watch Game of Thrones. I'll never ever be able to rewatch Game of Thrones after that. It just ruined it for me.
I mean, George R. R. Martin isn't even he's not even finishing the book series.
I don't think he is either. I think
he said in an
he's
interview,
done.
he's just like, I just want to play Elden Ring on my Steam Deck and be left alone. I get it, man. Hey, you don't want to finish. I'm not taking that. Maybe it's about the friends we made along the way. No. You got lazy and you didn't want to finish, and now you're getting a bunch of checks. I get it, okay?
Yeah.
At least give the series to like Brandon Sanderson, a good fantasy writer.
Yeah, not those two schmucks that treated it as film school.
No. That's a shame that he wouldn't at least give the drafts to someone like a Brian Sanderson, a very respected, great fantasy writer, so he can finish it at least. Because Brandon Sanderson finished the Wheel of Time series after Robert Jordan died. So, and it was good. I mean, it wasn't. It's not the same, but it's still good.
I gave that one a try, but it couldn't hook me. I give
Mm-mm.
series 2 episodes. If you can't hook me in 2 episodes, then. But that one, it couldn't. I actually gave the Lord of the Rings series. I gave that a full season, and I was just like, I don't know what you did with my time.
I know. Yeah, I'm about the same. I did sit through both the first seasons, then I said, I've seen enough.
More often than not, if it comes on Netflix, if it comes on like HBO or Disney Plus, I'll give it a watch. If it comes on like Amazon, Hulu, Paramount, I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't know if I want that commitment. Because they have these shows that they put a lot of money into that go nowhere. Like Paramount, how do you make war boring? You made Halo. You made it boring. I don't know how, but you did.
I guess it helps when the owner has $240 billion in the bank.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd let you put out crap too.
Yeah.
But that's why you go indie.
Passion project.
You go indie because they put a lot more thought and love into their passion project than that billionaire is just like, I don't know, make a Conan movie. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless somebody wants to throw a lot of money my way, then I will make whatever movie you want.
Yes, I agree.
But shameless plug aside, I know I asked you this last time, but I still think that Alpha Dogs would do best as a animation, like animation overdone, and I think Dime Store Detective best as a live action TV series.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So make those calls for me. Give me get it, make it happen. I'll give you 10%.
I mean, shit,
20%.
They gave Supernatural how many seasons? Like 20? Come on, man.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Let's add a little Dukes of Hazzard in there and get that cash flow rolling. And then I'm not directing that dogs. I'm not directing Alpha Dogs. I'm not doing dogs unless it's animated. And them animated dogs we can rein in. That's
there you go.
Because I'll never forget. I think it was Kevin Smith said the hardest part of Clerks was that first scene you see with the dog. He's in it for like a second, but it was the hardest thing to get that dog to actually do that scene. And I was like, you know what? No dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Keep him offset. He's a diva enough.
There you go.
Mascot to a whole podcast network. I don't need him, getting a manager and then edging me out.
There you go.
Get a call from my dog's manager, then I know I'm really messing up.
Absolutely.
You told me.
Oh man, but these are the dogs that we want everybody to look into, which is alpha dogs. But episode 1, season 1, the
You've
issues
already
1
got a
through 5.
cartoon.
1 through 5 is on Kickstarter now, so you can catch up. And then, of course, we want you to catch up on Dime Store Detective too. I loved the whole backstory in that because it reminded me with the bootleggers and the moonshine, and it just adds in this whole other world that you didn't think you were going to step into, which it adds to the flavor of the comics. And that's where I think everybody is going to really enjoy when they see these on their shelves, on their digital tablets. I personally do like having a paper to flip through my hands and actually having the comic there. But when you're jonesing, the digital itch does it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get
for a while,
you can get all of my comics in the digital tier of the Kickstarter too. So you can get Alpha Dogs 1 through 5, Dexter Detective 1 through 4, and my other series, Space Cruise, in issue 1 that's out so far.
Yes. Oh my God. Space Cruising. I remember that one when we were talking about that last time. 3 of them. I forgot about that third one because I really latched into the dogs and the detective story. I was like, all right, these are my dogs.
Yeah,
Space Cruising.
Space Cruising just came out. That was my last one. And I thought, it was this summer's when I did Space Cruising. So it's my newest new series. So I'll probably just stick with the 3 for now to try to get through these. So.
But those are the 3 kind of genres that you can really just have fun with right there. Like, all right,
yes,
you got
absolutely.
your 3 there. Cool. And then you can kind of scratch each itch that you want to and then move them all forward. That's a nice one.
I try to always outdo what the last story that I had written. So I'm not going to write the same genre because hopefully I've written the very best of that genre I can to my abilities, and then I move on to something else. So even though all 3 are very distinct, they're all 3 I've had a lot of good reviews from. I've posted a lot of people who have read the comics and really enjoyed it. And then you can go to YouTube and watch some reviews too.
See, I was just trying to think of a genre that you couldn't go to, but even rom-com you could do with alpha dogs.
Yeah,
you could do it.
You definitely could make your own Lady of the Tramp kind of thing, I guess.
You know what I mean? You could
question. Crazy question. For your, let's just say your 12th issue, your special 12th issue, if you had a choice of any artist before, let's just say, I'd say from the Bronze Age going back, who would you have pencil it? And same thing, who would you have ink it for your Dime Store Detective?
So from the modern age to the Bronze Age?
No, from Bronze Age going back.
Oh, okay. Oh boy. Well, man, you gotta have the King Jack Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
You want Jack Kirby doing the your Dime Store Detective?
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I think he would have a little bit of kind of that Dick Tracy look probably back then, I suppose. But I don't know who would have color, but I don't know. It's
Who would you have ink it?
boy, I don't know. That's a good question. Who would you guys think would do the best?
Will Eisner.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that guy is detective to the max. I'd say he'd almost ink himself, but I think anybody inking over him that was decent would really, or Dick Giordano. Anybody who gives that kind of, I think you have more of an occult, I'm guessing, type effect. So they would have that eerie, creepy, suspense feel look. That's just me, but I mean, certain artists fit certain genres. I mean, just for me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good good answer. I never thought about that.
Especially
There's a
Will
few,
Eisner.
but not everybody would do well in this type of thing. Neil Adams, who passed a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Neil Adams.
He did a lot of covers, but he did interiors for a lot of horror or suspense books.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember. What was it? Sandman, I believe.
He might have. There's so many. I couldn't think of what issue it was. I recently got like a werewolf story.
Well, because I have the omnibus, and that was like in the beginning, and I think early Sandman was Neil Adams, if I'm remembering correctly. Because I just read that thing. It is thick. Oh man, I was proud when I got through one, and I haven't started two yet. I'm not scared.
Yeah, they're quite huge.
Yeah, I still have. Well, I have Doomsday Clock as well as Watchmen. I have a couple thick ones. I only go for the thick compendiums. Like, give me your life story.
Yeah.
Or five at a time. That's how I got into Walking Dead and comics in general. When in my 30s, I started picking up Walking Dead, and I just went through all the compendiums. And I was like, all right, well, what else can I read? And just spread out from there. And that's, I think that comic is, still chugging along. The comic, and there's all the spinoffs of shows and stuff that AMC will still just wring out as much as they can.
Yeah, it's crazy. They still make enough money to keep on going. That still got that much of a following. But I guess it is on AMC. So
yeah, I mean AMC. I mean, God bless them. They're still around. How many networks have just switched hands? Like, I went through cable one day while I was at my mom's house. I was like, oh my God, what are these stations? I've never even heard of half of them because they just change right through.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know how they can have much of a budget considering on network TV, because everybody went to live streaming, and Netflix just raised their price to $24.99, but we'll all pay it because at the end of the day it's only $24.99.
Yeah, and then they all get you, and then you're like, oh well, yeah, clearly I pay for cable. It's what we all are right now. But
yeah.
Just spend it wisely. Spend it for the ones that are actually putting out the content for you there, especially, that's
Absolutely.
that's the biggest thing is, are you actually giving me things I watch?
Yeah. Well, with any luck, hopefully somebody will enjoy Dime-Store Detective, Ralph the Dog's Dreaming Space Prince enough to get a comic book movie deal. I take that any day.
Absolutely.
Just got to get out there. Yeah.
Dime Store Detective, your dream casting. Who are you getting for your main protagonist?
Oh,
I would say dead or alive, because that'll make it easy.
Okay, well, now that you got the dead, I'd have to for alive.
Because Clint Eastwood's still alive,
now,
but you can get him.
Michael Fassbroom would be a great Don McIntyre, and oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name. The star of Avatar, Clash of the Titans.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't look it up now.
There's two of them that look alike. Because there's Charlie Hunnam?
No.
Or there's
no. He was still Avatar.
I don't.
And like I said, he played the remake of Clash of the Titans as well. Boy, I can't believe I can't. He's Australian. Oh my goodness, that's just sticking out of my head.
Sam Worthington.
Thank you, Sam. I knew there was a Sam Worthington. Oh my goodness. So I think he would be great. Either one of them would be would be my pick that's alive.
Yeah.
As far as
Sam Worthington would make he'd be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. For the dad, I'm just having a terrible thing with names. For the dad, I guess because of that movie with the motorcycle gang. He played Elvis recently. That actor.
I saw it. I know the face. I have no
Oh my
idea.
god!
Yeah.
At least I'm not the only person that's old now. I can't remember names.
So Austin Butler played Elvis.
Yeah, yeah, him. I could see him.
Okay. Yeah.
And a younger, unfortunately, he's probably he's too old for the part now, but a young Tom Holland for Holland Tom shoot who played Bane. Who?
Oh, Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Tom Hardy as the uncle on the Uncle Ricky who goes crazy, who gets possessed.
Yeah. Okay. No, I like that casting, especially Tom Hardy to cap it off with an A-list cast for an A-list movie that needs to be made.
Yeah, well, the only problem is those guys, the brothers, are in their mid-20s, so it really wouldn't work for Tom Hardy anymore.
CGI and making people younger. I'm 97 and I don't even look it. See, I mean, video magic.
That's true. That is true.
But I think that everybody needs to go out to Kickstarter and support Alpha Dogs right now. And, of course, all your comics of Dime Store Detective and Space Cruisin', and find them in their digital libraries and continue to support everything that you do. And did you happen to submit for the Heroic Awards?
I did. Thanks for telling me about it. I had got a message from I can't recall his name that works with a great guy. So I submitted Dime Store Detective 4 and Space Cruisin' issue 1, since those were my 2024 releases. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how it works. Is it voted on by
so they have judges
or a committee?
Yeah, they have judges, and for they have specific judges for each category. So these are the judges for best story. These are the judges for best cover, and that's what they judge. And it's that they have that. They also have the what was it? The people's. It was the People's Choice. They had that last year. They have. I had Richard Dury on, I think, at the end of last year.
Yeah, it was Richard. Yeah,
Richard's a great guy, and he, beginning of last year, I did the category and intro videos for him, and I'm telling everybody about it because I want all of my indie friends. They need to have their comics be there at the awards, because this is one of the things that will keep moving indie forward, because this is an award show for indie by indie. So it's something that will keep. It's a nice feather in your hat to where you can have this seal on your comic saying Heroic Award winner, and going on from there year after year, being able to have that on all of your comics, and that being that official stamp that people see on a good book, or a good movie. That's the one thing that the indie market is missing, and you have it right here with Heroic Awards, giving people that spotlight in the sun. My buddy Aleem, with his comic Diary of Sweet Pea, he went over to the Heroic Awards. They were at C2E2 last year. They pointed him out, for being one of the finalists in the People's Choice. All the amazing winners and finalists that they did have, being having meetings with Atlantic Press and all that. It's a nice thing that, hey, here's some talks so that we can get this going to the next stage, and it's something for all these indie people to be able to shoot for.
Yeah,
I can get there.
When do they announce the nominees?
I'm not sure. I think it's going to be later on in the year. I know that. I don't think they actually have that announced yet, but they do take a while to let all the submissions come in. So
yeah, we have a lot to go through.
Oh, and they try to keep it as impartial and honest judging, and that's what I loved about the first year of the Heroic Awards, that they did it. So that's why I tell everybody to come in here, because it was honest judging, and they try to improve it every time. So love to send love out to Richard, especially when he loves to, just build everybody up, because that's one of the mottos we have here, because that's how we're all going to get better. And We're all going to get better by everybody going over and checking out Alpha Dogs and Dime Store Detective on Kickstarter today and get caught up on everything that Jon's doing. Jon, we say it all the time. You're welcome back again anytime, and we will have our yearly check-in around this time next year. See
Absolutely.
how many issues
Absolutely.
you pulled out. And I'll be if I'm doing the editing, I can't, well, I can't vote for People's Choice, but I will be looking out doing the editing, and I'll be looking for your comics in the finals of the Hero Awards, and I can't wait to see your comics win.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Bye.